Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg.
If I had to ask which way you play Brawlhalla or any fighting game in general, would you say you play like this?
Yes! 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 Yes!
Or this? You'd probably say both, right? And technically, that would be the correct answer. Because when you're new to the fighting game you're playing, you will realize very quickly you can't just mash against someone who is calm, cold, and calculated, aka good, with a well-honed punishment technique. However, at the same time, keep a good distance of aggression to make you feel overwhelmed to the point where you'll start playing goofy. This has been a phenomenon within different fighting game communities for years. Street Fighter, Smash, it's definitely no stranger to Brawlhalla. It's just the way it has to be, you know? The yin to the yang of all fighting games. There is no way to avoid it.
I am inevitable.
I mean, that is all it really boils down to at the end of the day, right? A good player keeps a mixture of both aggression, or spamminess as it appears, and a good level of counter and parrying, or passiveness if you will. But why is one side over-talked about while the other is seen as okay? Let's find out. So why is it most notable in Brawlhalla? Why is it more annoying in Brawlhalla? And why is it not as much of an equal and opposite force as opposed to other fighting games like Street Fighter and Tekken and Dragon Ball Fighters, etc, etc, where it isn't very notable and actually tolerable? Well, Brawlhalla is a 2D platformer fighting game, so there is much more space on the stage to run as opposed to other Evo mainstream fighters, shifting the balance of the rules of that of a traditional fighting game. Next is the fact that unique attacks in this game are kinda over the top and goofy, and supposed to make you laugh more than be like a strategic way of attacking my opponent. Like, look at Bodvar's signatures for a second on Grapple Hammer. Can this slow-ass attack really hit my foe, who has all of this to be on the screen? Yeah, I didn't think so. And then there is Queen Nai or Orion, who can do this and pretty much be safe after doing a long animation attack. And that is also another reason why this game will never be balanced. Some SIGs just do be better than others. Therefore, the spam/aggression side is more noticeable because when you're new to Brawlhalla, past the tutorial system, which by the way is hidden away somewhere in the menu, all the game recommends you to play is free-for-all. And guess what they're gonna be doing? Not dash jumping, you guessed it, hyper-aggressive, almost brain-dead-like play. Which isn't too far off from one of the characters, but you do not downlight down air on sword or downlight recovery on blasters. All you know is at 10, this move always hits and you can always run as hard as you can to even leave some room for Jesus. Whereas if you try and throw out specials in Street Fighter or Tekken, yeah. So you can see why the balance is a bit off.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Can it be fixed? No. That is, at its core, how Brawlhalla operates. And it's never gonna change, especially how they design updates for their stages nowadays. What surprises me is how fun the game is despite all this. I mean, out of all the fighting games, you can see why Brawlhalla struggles with this. We literally have SpongeBob now in Brawlhalla and Star Wars, so definitely emphasizes my point on how this is more of a silly-ass party game compared to the Evolution predecessors. Seriously though, one like equals one extra chance Brawlhalla gets into Evo. Because if Multiverse can do it, so can we. Sorry, Brawl Stars. But besides that, let's quickly talk about the passiveness side of the game, which primarily is more notable in the game by the time you get to like mid-plat, I'd like to say. That's mostly coming from my personal experience, however, I would like to believe that most of everyone in the game would agree. Or maybe not. A lot of you are hard start gold for like 2 years.
Bruh.
But back to the passive problem side of things. The first time I realized this was a problem in this game in particular was when this one bro went viral in the community, Meg D. But not for the reasons you're thinking of, because in a fight, you do whatever it takes to win, except hacking, of course. You use whatever tools in-game are in your arsenal to prevail, even if that means weapon throwing or weapon starving, or even playing Rocket Lance, arguably the easiest weapon in the game to play. And yes, you guessed it, running away like a little bitch. The only noticeable problem is the fact that it can literally be draining for the other person to the point where it would
tear your soul apart.
And the other is, well, the games are live streamed over on Twitch, so I mean, it's not like it makes for a great viewing experience. Seeing two guys do nothing for 15 seconds before engaging and then inevitably going to game 5 to do the same thing. Usually that means they are evenly matched. Close stocks, close games, close health, just not closing the distances. If you would have told me 4 years ago the coronavirus pandemic would have a permanent, long-lasting effect on this game and its community, that players don't want to get close, I would have been like, hey yo, what's up? Ain't no way. All jokes aside, what have BMG done to prevent this? Well, they attempted to remove wall camping by reducing the amount of time you can spend on the wall, but of course, even that caused problems. Now, in an ideal world,
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
but that's just never gonna be the case for Brawlhalla. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like Boomy said.
Bro, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's been passive the entire time.
Huh?
Since the dawn of time, the game has been passive. The best players have always been passive.
And I ain't even trying to be pessimistic, just realistic. Does that mean Brawlhalla isn't a balanced fighting game? Well, there are so many factors that it's still too hard to determine that. And besides, this is a player problem, not necessarily an in-game problem. If you know, you know.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So yeah, for the most part, I'd say it's relatively balanced regardless of all these issues. Anyway, I hope you guys have better luck in your next few Brawlhalla games. I just really felt like shedding some light on the topic, if you know what I mean, since I found it kind of intriguing of a topic of conversation, and I hope you felt this video was more heartwarming and refreshing reminder that you shouldn't hate the player, hate the game.